Hi everyone, my name is David Green, and today we're going to have a very serious, somber discussion about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. I actually really did enjoy this movie. My cohort did too, AJ.
I did.
And when I first heard Seth Rogen was going to do or be involved with writing and producing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, I thought that seemed like a really cool idea, particularly him saying he wanted more of an emphasis on the teenage aspect of it, that it feels like some of the recent movies haven't really done, by actually having real teenagers play the characters instead of guys in their 30s, it adds some extra authenticity. But yeah, I didn't really watch too many of the cartoons. I saw the last Michael Bay produced movies, which were, not so great. A couple fun moments, but, this is definitely a major improvement, this movie. But yeah, at first I was a little worried that the movie wasn't gonna be quite as fun and self-aware as I thought it would be with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg writing it or co-writing it, because the opening scene was a little bit exposition heavy and generic. But once the turtles themselves actually showed up and started bantering, to me that's when the movie started. Well, this is clearly interesting you.
No, I'm sorry, no.
Normally for animated movies they don't record all the voice actors together, but with this one they actually had the kids for the turtles together, and you can kind of you can really feel it.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that. So.
Can you feel it?
This is
no. Yeah, it had some really laugh out loud, funny moments. Sometimes it leans a little too heavy into the references and stuff. Sometimes it's really clever with that, but sometimes it just feels a little bit too much. But there are some pretty fun references, and particularly if you grew up in the early 2000s, there's a lot of animation references.
But yeah, the animation was really
Oh,
cool.
yeah, that's the animation, that's super important, because it felt like, almost, everybody's been talking about how it's kind of similar to Puss in Boots or particularly Spider-Verse, but I think that it's almost felt like its own thing to me, where it felt a little more 2D than Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots. Besides Across the Spider-Verse, it probably felt like the best use of that animation style that I've seen, where it didn't quite feel jarring, because I feel like sometimes it can feel a little stilted, but it's kind of meant to.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in New York, there's a lot of cool little details that you'll see, particularly if you know Times Square, and they even get the ice cream trucks right and the police cars.
And the voice acting is really good.
You're a natural kid. He's correct. In my opinion, I thought the voice acting was really good, particularly Jackie Chan and Ice Cube as Superfly. There's particularly with them, and there's a character that Paul Rudd plays who I won't spoil, but he was probably my favorite. Even when the story lost me in bits and pieces, the animation was always really beautiful and creative and felt different, and similar to the Spider-Verse and all that, but different too. I think this is definitely one of the better movies, I think, this year, end of the summer. And I hope it does well, because it feels like it's fun and nostalgic, but it's also not just playing nostalgia. It tells a good story too. Something like Mario Brothers, it definitely had the nostalgia and some really fun, funny moments, but I don't think it quite had as strong a story as this one, just about, growing up and feeling like an outsider. This is definitely much more self-aware than that movie, but if you like that movie, you'll probably like this one just as much, if not more. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this. I assume AJ would as well, based on his attire, his merchandise, and yeah, I think it's a very fun, funny, heartfelt film, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do in a potential sequel, because it seems like this movie is going to do very well, or hopefully it does.
It already is.
It's been out one day. Don't eat that. There's one important thing I forgot to mention, one of the other highlights of the film, which is the score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I was shocked that to see their names in the end credits, because I guess they don't typically do animated family-friendly films. Like, you know, they're known for The Social Network and stuff, but they did a really good job. It just felt really like unique, but with a synth sound that, you know, you don't really expect that with them, or at least from what I know of them. So definitely want to check out that score on Spotify or iTunes, or yeah.